Come with me today for a day spent in Stresa, by the margins of Lago Maggiore. If you are visiting Lake Como, I really suggest going on a day trip to Stresa, which is precisely what I did on my last trip to the region. We arrived in Stresa at around 10 a.m. The skies were a bit overcast, but we could already see the full splendor of the lake and its islands. We started off with a slow-paced walk along the lakefront area of Stresa. On one side, the majestic grand hotels, with their balconies decorated with lush flower arrangements, overlook the landscape. On the other, the glistening waters of the lake, under the shy morning sun, and the Borromean Islands afar, compose what could be a painting, once imagined by the gods. We kept walking along the lake margins, enjoying every balcony and viewpoint, going towards the harbor. Once there, we caught one of the many shuttle boats that run between Stresa and the different islands, and went to our first stop, the Isola de Pescatori. On my guide to Lake Como, which includes this day trip to Stresa, I share all the infos on the shuttle's prices, time schedules, and travel itineraries between the islands. The Isola de Pescatori, or Fisherman Island, is the only permanently inhabited of the Borromean Islands, and is a small island with a few restaurants, a couple of hotels, some souvenir stores, and its own church. The island is an almost untamed mesh of buildings, built as if pushing each other away for some more space, and its picturesque narrow streets, with constant glimpses of the lake and the margins afar, make for a lovely time walking around. After an hour or so exploring the small town that covers the whole surface of the island, we sat for lunch on the upstairs terrace of restaurant Casa, watching as the boats tirelessly came and went from the harbor. We had a fresh cocktail each and a delightful lunch inspired by the flavors of the lake, starting with a shared and very fresh melon gazpacho, and then having a seafood risotto and a Lake Amatriciana-style macaroncini, before finishing in a sweet note with a delicious crème brûlée and a tiramisu. By the time we finished lunch, the skies had visibly cleared from their morning sadness, and all of the colors of the landscape around the lake got even more vivid. We then got on the next boat towards Isola, just a 3 minute ride away. Most of the island, which is still owned by the Borromean family, is occupied by the family's palace that dates all the way back to the 17th century, although it has been increased and updated along the centuries since. Most of the palace is now open to the public as a museum, showcasing its formidable collection of Baroque paintings and several furnished rooms in the style of what they used to be back in the day. On the outside, you will find one of the most astonishing gardens you will ever visit. As if suspended above the lake waters, this terraced garden, with a wide collection of rare flowers and plants from all over the world, offers the most stunning views of the lake and the mountains around it. The different terraces have different styled gardens with their own themes. All around the garden, white peafowls roam freely and hide in the shade of the trees and bushes, coming out of their hideouts to fill the air with their songs. Right in the middle of the garden, you can find the imposing Teatro Massimo, with a collection of statues, fountains and plants, topped by a grand statue of a unicorn, the symbol of the Borromean family. Unfortunately, the unicorn was under maintenance, and we couldn't see the full grandiosity of this monument, but had the most panoramic views from the top terrace behind it. After a couple of hours exploring the museum and the gardens of Isola, we walked back along Stresa's lakefront promenade, now with the sun fully shining on the beautiful scenery. Our final stop for the day was the Parco Pallavicino, a beautiful large garden in a similar style to the garden of Villa Carlotta in Lake Como, which I have shown in a previous video. This one, besides the vast collection of botanical species, from trees to bushes and flowers, also has its own small zoo with both farm and wild animals, from free-roaming peafowls to different types of goats, ducks and swans, foxes, deer, among others. A visit here is a nice way to end your afternoon, and it is especially captivating for children. Even on a hot summer's day, the vast shaded areas of the park make it very comfortable to walk around and discover its many corners and admire its beauty and the fantastic views. To end the day, we went for a final walk in Stresa and along the lakefront promenade, admiring the landscape, taking on these beautiful golden towns. As the sun finally sets and the day gives way to the night, I recommend having dinner in one of the beautiful restaurant terraces of the grand hotels of Stresa, such as the Borromean restaurant at Grand Hotel des Îles Borromean. I hope you enjoyed coming with me on this day trip to Stresa, and let me know what you like to see the most on the comments, as well as any questions you might have about this day trip. Also, if you are not yet, do subscribe to not miss my upcoming videos with more travels and beautiful experiences across Europe. See you on the next one.